Okay, so looks like we're live on Facebook. All right, guys. So we are going to be talking today about creating an environment that fosters new leadership. Okay, so that is the topic that we're going to be talking about today. And the reason I do this is because it's so important when you are a leader. One of the things that is so important is not to do things too perfectly. Because if you do it too perfectly, oftentimes what will happen is your team will sit there and look and think, oh, I could never do that. I could never handle that. And if you ever hope to grow as a leader, or even if you're a business owner and you want to be able to grow your business and expand your business, maybe open up a second location, then you're definitely going to want to create other people that can start filling in your shoes. So anytime you're in a leadership position, not only do you have to learn and grow yourself, but you have to develop your people underneath. Otherwise, there's going to be a gap and you won't be able to get to do some of the things that you want to do. So, and the reason I bring this up is I remember when I was a party light show host consultant, and I focused so much on, because I was so nervous in front of everybody else, I focused on trying to make sure absolutely everything was right. And I had the presentation all set up correctly. I memorized what page certain products were on, and I went through my presentation like I practiced it over and over and over and over again. And one of the things that I was doing is I was also not only recruiting or selling the product, but I was recruiting team members. So I needed other people that were also leaders, and so that they could start building their own team, and then I would have to work on training them and stuff like that. So, but I was pretty young. I was in my 20s back then when I was doing that. And I remember the lead that I was working with, she had told me to start making mistakes in my presentation. I'm like, what? What? Why would I do that? Like, don't, like, she would deliberately get me to make mistakes for two reasons. One is it actually encouraged interaction among the guests, that they're like, oh, isn't it this instead of this? And I'd be like, oh, right. See, anybody can do this, right? So I had to, because if I made it too flawless, too perfect, then other people, their imposter syndrome would kick in, that there's no way that they could possibly do this as well. So it's important to show your human side. Maybe don't always deliberately make mistakes, but show your human side as a leader, that you make mistakes as well. And it's not so much about making mistakes, because if you know anything about leadership, then you know you've made a lot of mistakes and you know what not to do. And that's probably why you're in a leadership position. So rule number one is don't be too perfect. Allow your mistakes to show, and also allow the team to see how you correct those mistakes. And that gives them a lot of insight, and it also takes some of that fear and uncertainty out of them stepping into a leadership position. The second thing that you want to do as a leader is you want to provide and encourage feedback. Obviously, when they step up to try and do something, you want to provide feedback and encouragement that they know more than they think they do. And that, I know I've done this several times. It was like I would praise and reaffirm the things that they were doing right, the things that they were maybe feeling uncertain about. And the next thing that I would do is I would also reinforce that by having them teach somebody else. Hi, Maya. Good to see you. Hello. teach somebody else the same thing that they knew. So it wasn't always on me to be able to say, okay, this is how you do things, get them to show somebody else. It does a couple of things. It helps them reinforce. Thank you for the gifts, Maya. I appreciate you. Oh, look at those. Look at all the goats. That's awesome. So you want to not only give them encouragement and feedback, but you're going to encourage them to show somebody else. Even if they're not training somebody for their position, get them to teach or educate somebody else on the team the same thing that they actually do. And get them to talk about why the role that they are doing, why it's important for the company, why it is that they do it, what's important about it, and what the challenges are that they experience, and how to improve that. And so it gives them some small, easy ways to start practicing leading and guiding others. It improves their communication skills. It improves their understanding of the role that they're doing. It gives them a sense of importance, that the role that they do, even if it's a small, like entry level position, that position exists because the company needs that role to be filled, and it serves a proper purpose. So having them be able to explain why their role is important gives them a sense of pride, gives them a sense of ownership, and it starts developing those leadership skills within them. The third thing that you would want to do is within teams, team meetings or anything like that, you want to encourage each team member not only to, and I know Doge has been doing this, like, what did you accomplish this week, right? And yes, you want those kind of emails, but here's something even better than, just providing the status update of what you've done, is get the team members to talk about the challenges that they're experiencing and solicit feedback from the other team members of how they could possibly solve that problem. What this will do is it encourages collaboration amongst the team, and it also will start to condition the team, instead of believing that they have to do everything, because as an employee, oftentimes you're focused on what are my tasks, what are my goals, what are my actions, and it's I have to do it, right? If you want somebody to start being able to step into a leadership position, they have to go from being the person who does everything to the person who helps encourage others and solicits feedback and ideas and thoughts, and gets the team to be able to provide that insight, because it'll be the team that does that work. So if you're always only getting them to focus on the things that they've done, their accomplishments, it keeps them a bit more self-centered, and I only have to do my part and I don't have to worry about others. Whereas getting that feedback from the team, expressing what kind of challenges, because one of the things, especially female leaders often do this, is you'll like, oh, well, I'll just take care of that. It'll only take me 5 minutes. I'll do it myself, right? And then what ends up happening is they get told that they don't delegate very well, and they don't, they have too much on their own plate. I know I've been guilty of that myself. I've done that many times where I just do it myself, and next thing you know, I'm staying, twice as much, and I'm not allowing the team to develop the skills that they need to be able to grow as well. So it prevents that holding on to things too much. So getting the team to seek that feedback, getting them to start communicating some of the challenges, and being able to allow them to teach and train the team on the things that they do is really important. It fosters a really good environment of collaboration. Now, these don't have to be very long. They can be short updates, but it becomes a practice that you do over and over again. It becomes normal. And this also fosters an environment where you, there's never going to be perfect. There's always growth. Because even if you get to, oh, this is the best we've ever done, well, that will become the new norm. And in order for you to grow that next level, it's like, okay, well, how can we do this faster? How can we do more? How can we scale this? How can we grow? All of those kind of things. And scaling and growing is all about being able to duplicate yourself, right? And being able to do more, and being able to have people step into those roles so that you can focus on other things. So the more that you're able to take off of your plate and have people that are available to step into those roles to be able to help support, they will be well prepared, because this is something that's normal. And I've seen many of team members be able to flourish into that position because they start seeking and asking for those opportunities and those challenges. Sorry, I just saw a question. Do you need live help? Please contact me if you need it. Thanks, Anisha. Appreciate you. So, encourage each other, and be able to seek feedback for the challenges. So that also keeps things from getting swept under the rug of things that need to be addressed, and it encourages that people start asking for help rather than sitting with it. Because I know there's been many times where I've had team members where they were just thank you for the goat gifts. I've had team members where they'll sit on problems for far too long, delaying them being solved because they wanted to figure it out themselves. They didn't want to seem like they didn't know what they were doing. So if you encourage this practice where you not only speak about the things that you got done, and yes, that's a great thing, here's all the things we've accomplished, but here's the things I'm having challenges, or here's the things that I'm concerned with. I'm not sure if we're going to be able to hit this target, that target. It encourages collaborative communication where you're going to be able to work together as a team to be able to solve that. Now, maybe you don't have something every week, and maybe it's, pretty routine, but maybe even trying that once a quarter or something like that, or once a month, is a good opportunity to say, okay, here's some of the challenges, what are we going to work on? And it also gives the team the ability to start brainstorming and coming up with solutions for how they want to be able to solve that. Or maybe they know somebody else within the company. It's like, oh, I didn't know that so-and-so did this. I'll go talk to him and bring him into the team to see if he can show us what it is that we need to do. We've done this many times with systems, with people with certain knowledge or skill sets within the company that maybe work in a different department, and they have insight that they can draw into your team. This works really great in larger companies as well. The other thing is, there have been many times myself when I was a junior leader and I was having to go explain to other departments what, and I was in transportation and logistics, so I would go and explain to other departments how transportation and logistics works, what our team did, why we were important, how we support the company, how we facilitate the growth, how our departments interact, what we need from them, and facilitating and asking what it is that they need from us so that we can work together more collaboratively. So those are 3 things that you want to start to implement, easy ways to implement these things so that your team is starting the process of becoming leaders and creating a mindset and a culture of having leadership as the norm. Because if you're a business owner and you plan to grow and scale your company, you want to develop all of your team members as leaders. Okay? Even if you don't have a position for them right now, hopefully you have a vision big enough that they can step into that And you also have it as a normal practice that not only are you reaching down and you're helping the people below you up, but they are reaching down and helping the people below them up. And so that creates a really, really strong team. So very short, sweet training today. But if you haven't joined me before, just now introducing myself, my name is Tina and I am a happiness coach, and I help business owners deal with the emotional side of life. And so sometimes I'll talk mostly about business, other times I'll talk about the emotions. And this training today shows how you can help people step into that role of leadership while minimizing the fear or the imposter syndrome that they may feel stepping into your shoes, right? Because that can be pretty scary, especially if you're in an environment where you have a culture of excellence, and they might be looking up to you thinking, I could never do what she does. I can never do what he does. And I used to tell one of my bosses that. I'm like, there's no way in hell I would ever take your job. I see the crap that you go through, and I don't think I could ever do that. But at the end of the day, she always pulled me close, and she always encouraged me, and she gave me these feedback. And so when I did step into some of these roles, it was normal. It wasn't so scary, and it just felt like me being me. And so create that kind of environment for your team. You'll watch them grow, you'll watch them blossom. And when I did this for other people, it was the best feeling in the world. It made me so happy to watch some of my guys go from being nervous, being shy, being uncertain as to whether or not they can do it, to watching them flourish as leaders themselves. The pride that I felt, I was so happy for them to see them grow into who I could see them to be when they were uncertain, when they felt doubt. And that is an amazing feeling. And to watch them do that for other people, and then they get that amazing feeling, it's the best. That is the best kind of culture to have in a company, and to create that kind of environment and have that ripple effect cascade down into the people that are around you. Not only do you grow, but they grow, and you watch them help other people grow. Best feeling in the world, and nothing makes me happier as a leader. So guys, that's the training for today. If you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, go to Coach Tina B 125 on YouTube. Click on subscribe. You'll get notified when I upload the replay, in case I notice there's some people that joined in a little bit late, but you can watch that on YouTube. Okay? So guys, have a great night, and we'll talk to you again tomorrow. Bye. Thanks, Maya, for all the gifts.